Let's continue talking about different methods of data management to perform exploratory data analysis in Excel. So let's return back to our data set of vacations. So if you're joining us for the first time or for some reason you've skipped around in our video series, you're looking at a small data set of vacations. So this is structured data, meaning that it's broken into columns and rows. And within each one, so in column A, we have the cruise name. Column B, we have the duration. Column C, we have the inside cabin price. Column D, we have the outside cabin price. We've got the date that it leaves and where it's leaving from. Okay. So in our previous video, we talked a little bit about how to reorganize this, to sort it in an order to make it easiest for us to understand. There's another method of management that we can perform here that will help us take away the things in this data set that we don't want to see, to only look and analyze the things that we do want to see. Now, when I say take away, I don't mean delete, but I mean hide them from view so you're not looking at them and you're only focused on the things that you want to focus on. So let me give you an example. Again, say I want to take a vacation to Hawaii and I want to be gone for at least 10 days and I want to spend we'll say between $600 and $1,000, maybe $600 and $2,000 for an outside cabin price. Now, there are a couple different ways we can do this. Okay, I could go through and count, and I see that I've already sorted this a little bit. So here's some vacations, and here's some vacations. If I keep looking, maybe there's some more in here, but I'm not 100% sure. So yes, I could sort the data and look at it from there and manually just use my eyes and just try to count, how many vacations are there. However, I've got another option. That option we call filtering. So what does filtering do? Well, filtering in Excel is a lot like filtering water or filtering with coffee, right? So when you filter water, what do? You remove the debris from the water. You remove the things from the water that you don't want, leaving the clean water that you can drink. Well, that's what filtering with data does as well. It removes away the noise in the data that you're not interested in looking at. Now, remember, when I say noise, it doesn't mean that that's bad. It just means that it's data that we don't need. We're not interested in right now. So how do you filter? Well, much like sorting, there's several ways to do that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click the column heading. And remember, that's very important. So you need to make sure that if you're working in Excel, your data is structured. Right? Excel likes structured data. So what does that mean? That means tabular form. So columns, rows, column headings. Okay. So your data is structured into columns and rows. Your records are in rows. Okay. And they all have column headings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the home tab in the ribbon. I'm going to click the editing group over here. Not even click, just go to the editing group. I'm going to click sort and filter, and I'm going to choose filter. Perfect. Now, when I do that, notice now I've got these down arrows that show up in the column headings. Now, anybody that's done any kind of online shopping ever in their life probably knows what to do now. So I can click on those arrows and I can select whatever I want. So I'm going to deselect, select all, and I'm going to choose the Hawaii vacations. Now, there's a couple ways I can do it. I can click Cruise Hawaii, or I can actually click inside this box and type Hawaii, and it's going to show me all the Hawaiian vacations. Okay. So I click OK. And there we have it, right? So all of a sudden I look at this and I go, hey, these are all my Hawaiian vacations. I only have 11. See that? It tells you account automatically right down here. So there's 12 right there. So 12 out of 64 records. Okay. Makes it really simple. Now let's dive into this a little bit because it's really, really easy to understand. So first thing is, when a filter is applied in Excel, you can tell that filter is applied because the down arrow turns into what looks to be like a little funnel, like a coffee filter right here. Second, the values that go through the filter, the values that are returned in the row section, you'll see that the row number turns blue. See, so by default, everything's black. The ones that have returned, they are blue, like so. Okay. Now, a couple other things that are really cool here. You can apply more than one filter. So remember I said I don't want to spend over $2,000. So because I don't want to spend over $2,000 on an outside cabin, I have the ability to apply a special kind of filter. So when you have numerical data, when you have measures, when you have something that is a number inside a column that's formatted as a number and not as words, you can perform special types of filters. So if I click on this, notice I now have a group called number filters. That's not always there. See? Text filters, number filters. And inside number filters, we actually have some really interesting things. Like you could have above average. So how many vacations do we have in the data set that are above the average price? or below average or top 10? What are the top 10 most expensive vacations? Okay. Now, in this case, though, what I'm going to say is I'm going to do, how about we do between? Because I think I said 600 and a 2,000 or something of that nature. So we'll say we want to spend over 600 and less than 2,000. Now, I'm cheating because I know, like, I can look at this with my eyes and I can see that 2,000 is high. So what if I cut that down and I said 1,100 or 1,200? So if I say 1,200, that's actually going to make a meaningful change to our data set. And there you have it. Filters. Filters are very, very simple. Now let's keep going with filters a little bit. So first thing you need to understand, you have not deleted anything from your data. When you make coffee, you still have the coffee grounds when you make the coffee, right? They're just, the coffee grounds have been filtered. That's what's happened here. Your data isn't gone. You've just removed some of the things from view. So if for any reason you think, oh gosh, I've made a mistake, I don't like what I've done, you can clear the filter, right? So if you go right back to filter, I can click clear. And if I click clear, everything comes back. Okay. So you haven't deleted anything. You've just changed the view so you can see from it what you want to do. It's very much just a view, not an actual edit. A couple other things, just like sorting, there are multiple ways to filter, right? Multiple ways. So the first way, home tab in the ribbon, editing group, sort and filter. Second way, data tab in the ribbon, sort and filter group, got a filter icon here as well. This and this do the same thing. Okay. Third way, right click, filter, filter. Okay. All three of those things do the same thing. Now, a couple other reminders. Remember, you could sort by color, both by cell color and by font color. You can do the same thing in Excel with filtering. You can filter by color and you can filter by font color. So if you had a cell that was red, you could filter red away. Or you could filter so you just see red. If you had a cell that was had the same with color, you could do the exact same thing. Okay. So with that filtering, I encourage you to play around with it. It's pretty easy to get going. There's really no way to break what you're doing as long as your data is organized in a structured way. So I encourage you to just dive into some of the sample sets that are out there in your learning management system, play around with it, and you'll be a champ in no time. So with that, my friends, I'll let you go. Look forward to talking to you again soon.